Good evening, Suffolk Ram.
Oh, Skazz, coffee.
Skazz wasn't ready for that.
Next morning, that's like when they go on the telly. It's like, yeah, mate, 5, 4, 3,
2.
and then you're like, you didn't say 2 or 1. Yeah, you don't say 2 or 1. Why not? You just don't. And it's like, so I'm sat there thinking, yeah, nothing's going on. I've had no countdown. Ram's is like, should we go live? Yeah, cool. Good evening, this is Suffolk Ram.
Look, you had a few,
Thanks, mate.
You had a few seconds while I checked the audio was coming through. You should have been fine for that.
Well, I wasn't like a gob full of coffee.
No. Welcome to episode 295 of the Randos podcast. We've
Oh, 295.
We are. We're not far away now, Skazz.
Mate, I thought it was. I thought 295 was the last one.
That was 294. And the other one before that?
No way.
One before that? 293. And
No
actually,
way.
they're still not been uploaded. The video ones are out there. The uploads aren't. The reason being was last week was planned to be. I had a lot planned last week. I was getting the plastic crack was being delivered, which did get delivered, which is great. That's in the tail behind me. I had planned to. I'll meet a couple of friends, go and meet out. I was going to go to the Norfolk show. I was going to get shed loads of editing done. I was going to meet you up for breakfast, and then the heat arrived.
Yeah, the fireball decided it was going to come over from like some warm country.
I think the fireball moved a few miles closer temporarily.
It got lost.
Yeah, exactly. And the trouble is, I am not built for warmth. I am built for cold. Even in the winter time, I tend to sleep very light because I do not do well in heat. I'm like a very badly cooled PC or laptop. My heat sink isn't sufficient for me.
So you're like one of those. You're one of those, like one of those fanless jobbies, where it's like just the process is just bolted directly to the case.
I have a warning label on my back that says, "Do not take outside in hot weather. Keep inside the cool. This is not a portable device."
Wait, so you're thermal throttling all the time, mate?
Yes.
No way.
Mate, I was fucking thermal throttling last week. I tell you, I basically every day I got up and thought, "It's fucking hot again. I can't be fucked to do anything strenuous." So,
mate, I get that. Strenuous, anything like what qualified as like strenuous last week was like, I don't know, standing up.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, I did go for. First we tried to go for the meal. That was a disaster. We went to Spring Tide, which is usually okay. Yeah. So I like Spring Tide. It's usually okay. But when we got there, it was packed. The car park was full. I was like, why is this going? I walked in, and of course, what had I forgot was happening at the moment? Something called the World Cup is on. Yeah. So they were packed up for that, and we waited about sort of 5 minutes before for our table. And eventually we got sat down. We booked for 7. We got sat about 10 past 7 after having to wait, and then we sat there, and it got to 25 to 8, and no one had even come and acknowledged us. Like say, hey, we're a bit busy. If they come and said we're very busy at the moment, we are going to get to you, but it's going to be like, bear in mind, Spring Tide, you book a table slot for like 1 3/4 hours. So we had to be out by 8:45. So at 25 to 8, we hadn't even had a drinks order taken. Now, of course, being the British thing, being British, what of course we complain? No, we just got up and walked out and pretend nothing happened. So in the end, we ordered Domino's and came home and watched The Martian. So that was all right.
Rad.
So that was Monday. That was Monday. But then the rest of the week went downhill from there. It got hotter over the course of the week.
Wait. Downhill from there?
Yes. I had planned, so all the things I planned to do. I mean, the plastic crack sat in the box the whole week. I couldn't be asked to do anything with that.
Surprised it hasn't melted.
No, fortunately it hasn't. That wasn't concerned. I managed to read through the rule book slowly, but it's just I couldn't. I just finished out last week. I just had to. The worst was Friday night. Friday night was the worst. Another good thing happened last week. Car failed at MOT. So
there you go.
Yeah, rear tyre had a bulge on it. He said I couldn't see the bulge, but I got to Britain's no tyre replaced anyway. Went there and he showed me tyre, and the guy took off. He goes, "Yeah, you were not far up from this tyre having a blowout."
Wow, dude.
So the bulge was not on the sidewall; it was on the actual tread. And you know how a tread's meant to look. Imagine one part of tread just completely smooth because it's bulged up and just been run smooth. And you could see like the underneath, there's like wires. And at the time you could see the underneath wires starting to come through. I was like, yeah, you weren't far having a blowout. I said, oh, that's good to know.
Do you now check your? Do you not? Well, I guess guys in cars don't do that much, but like on a bike, you're supposed to run checks on tires like every time before you.
We don't. I mean, you do look. I do. Well, don't do it every single time, but you do. I do check the tires. Trouble is, it was in like one little specific space, so unless how tire happened to be in the right place, I wouldn't have seen it. So that's like, oh shit, that was bad. Then he goes, yeah. So I said because the MOT wasn't actually technically due to the end of next month or this month.
Wow, dude, and you drive a lot.
I drive like 250 miles a week. So I said, do you think they would have made it to the MOT in July? He goes, no.
Wow.
So that was fortunate I did the MOT early. I was like, oh, that was scary. Dog had to go to the vets last week. That was planned. Full little checkup. Yeah, bless her. She doesn't like the heat either. She was struggling last week really bad. She's got this thing where I can't remember the name of it. Basically, back of your throat, when you breathe in, it sort of opens up to allow the air to come in, like past your food pipe and stuff.
Yeah.
And basically, her flaps, and this is quite common in greyhounds when they get older, aren't opening as big as they should. And it basically it's almost like they sort of like tire out and wear out a little bit, which means when she's breathing, panting, she can't get enough air through them. Sure. So she struggles to get air. And the downside to that is what can actually happen is if that gets too bad, eventually she starts getting oxygen starvation to the brain. And
yeah, it makes sense.
Then what can happen then is like the back legs collapse and she just collapse down, then won't be able to walk anymore. So obviously last week was I was really. She has struggled through the last little heat wave we had back in May. She struggled through that as best we did the best we could to keep her cool, but she just about made it through that. I was like really worried that we have another heat wave that's going to finish her off. I was really quite concerned. So managed to buy her. I found this fantastic called a cool coat, which is basically it's like a thin material, but it's full of like the microfiber material you get with sponges. So it's quite thin, but it holds an awful lot of water. So you soak it in water, and it gets basically damp, but it's like drip. So you wring it out, so it's drip, but it'll then hold damp for like 2 to 3 hours, and you wrap that on there, and that just keeps it cool because you've got this constant like cool sponge against her. That worked really well, but even come Friday though, that was at the limit of what it could achieve. There was only so much you could do. So Friday night was so bad, I actually went, I don't know, obviously you were just the road, so you probably even worse because you've got houses either side of you. I went and actually spent part of the night sleeping in the garden Friday night. It was
to be fair, wouldn't surprise me, mate, because we did the same thing. Back in May, we decided we'd camp out a few nights because it was just too hot.
Yeah.
Way too hot.
Yeah.
People like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like trying not to die.
Yeah. Because I've got a smart thermostat, it keeps a record of all the temperatures. Friday night at about 7
o'clock. That was the 26th, you're talking,
yeah, 26th, yeah, last Friday.
Yeah.
Got up to 29.9 degrees inside. It nearly pushed 30 degrees inside. I was like,
miserable temperatures.
That was just, you just can't do anything. So I think even outside was cool. It was cool enough to sleep, but it wasn't exactly comfortable. So
yeah, sure.
So I think I got about 2 hours sleep Friday night. I've now actually I've actually now purchased a hammock on a stand. So I've got a hammock on a stand outside ready. If we have a hot heat wave, I'm going to be out there sleeping in that.
Oh, mate, I've got my hammock outside. I love it.
Yeah.
If I'm ever pissed off, just go out, just lay in my hammock. I'm like, yeah, mate, I'm good.
Yeah. I did discover that you mustn't get too cocky getting into the hammock because I bought it, I got on it fine, and then I was like, Mother said, oh, can we see you get in the hammock? Let's see what it's like. So, yeah. Got a bit too cocky, sat down, swung in too hard, and went straight over the other side.
Oh, mate, I've seen it. When I got into mine for the first time, I almost did the same thing, but I managed to catch myself. But yes, dude, I love hammock. It's so good,
so comfortable. It is so comfortable. Freaks Swift out if you put her in it. Completely freaks her out. Oh. The ground's moving. The ground's moving.
Charlie Spaniel keeps trying to get on it. It's like, what is this? What's up with this sky bed, Human? It's pretty good.
In air prison.
So what you doing up there, mate? What has you done wrong, mate? Has you been naughty again, mate?
But we're waiting. it got so bad last week. It's like we can't do this anymore. And it's not going to go away. So we're waiting. We're on the wait list to get a call from a local air conditioning company to come and look at installing aircon.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I've been
Wow.
told.
I was going to say, have you thought about aircon? Because you guys own your place, don't you? So you could you can do whatever you want.
So obviously we're two properties on the same bit, so we're next door to each other, so we'd have to have two separate setups. I have been told, I looked from research I've done online, I've been told it should cost between $2,500 to $3,000 to have it fitted. But do you know what? I think for this time of year it'd be worth it. Just to be able to sleep.
$2,500 to $3,000 for both places together?
That'd be for mine. I'd imagine the main house would be a lot dearer. Reason being is because the bungalow is long and thin, so and the bedrooms are one end and the living room's the other end. And what do you want to have aircon? The living room and the bedrooms. So it's going to be a long one.
Yeah,
so I expect that's going to be quite a bit more. I would thought that'd be quite a bit more. But for me, unfortunately, because I've got where it would have to go is on outside walls, so it's easy to get, drill the pipes through. They're next to each other effectively. It wouldn't be that long a run for the refrigerant pipes. It wouldn't have to be that long a run, so it shouldn't be too bad, and it's all quite easy to access. It's because it's not a big place. Don't need a lot of pad. It doesn't need a lot to cool it. If I've one in the living room, one in the bedroom, that'll probably cool the whole building by itself anyway. So
I was going to say, yeah.
Plus, these ones I'm looking at, if you get the ones that are heat pumps, so they can be reversed and used as a heater, you don't require planning permission. Whereas just an aircon by itself, you require planning permission. But as a heat pump, you don't.
Do you? I didn't know that.
You do, but heat pumps are allowed. The main reason is the government wants people to switch over to heat pumps for the home heating, so that it's now part of permitted development, which means, it means in this winter time, or when it's colder, if the cost of gas goes up, and electricity is cheaper, you can switch it to heating mode and use it as a heater instead.
Would you not be tempted to go and get because are we not changing the rules for plug-in solar? Have you ever thought of maybe whapping some solar panels up whilst you're at it?
The issue I've got with solar is the best angle on my roof is directly facing the neighbour's house, so wouldn't get a lot of sun on it. The garage is an option. It'd probably be better, but we have looked at solar. Solar is, even though they're getting better, is still quite expensive. But we have looked at solar. That's something we may do in the future. But I think the immediate thing is aircon. Just to knock those temperatures down, because I bet once it gets above like 24, 25 degrees, I pretty much just shut down. I just can't do anything.
No, I get that.
Even like going on the farm. Home on the farm, I have to have the car all the time running, so it's got the aircon running full blast, so I can just get in and out, drive around, just spend the least amount of time outside as I can, because I just can't cope with it.
So did you end up at the Norfolk show at all,
No.
or did you skip it because of that?
Too hot. It was going to be the day I was going to go on the Wednesday, and it was predicting a high of 33. I think they said they're going to get to. I'm not sure I actually got to, but they're predicting a high of 33. I thought, no, I'm not going. I'm not going to go, because obviously the Norfolk show is mostly outside.
Yeah.
So there's no building you're going to, which is good. So I thought I'm not going to. And it's like 30 quid for a ticket, and plus your parking. And if you want to get any food or anything on site, that gets expensive. I thought, I'm not spending the best part 60, 70 quid.
Food? You walk into one of the paddocks, mate. There'll be fucking animals sizzling. You can just put 2 slices of bread on either side. You've got it.
Yeah. Do you have any piglets? They're just the right size for a bit of bite.
Exactly, mate. Whips out his fucking loaf of bread, both fucking sides of a piglet. That's already crackling.
Exactly. So I was like, that's just. I'm not going to enjoy it. I'm just going to be too hot all day long. I'm not going to enjoy it. So I thought I'm not going to go, which is a shame, because I was quite looking forward to going, but it's just, if I'm not going to enjoy it, there's no point going.
Yeah.
So I didn't do. I couldn't. But my aim was on meltdown. I thought you just can't really concentrate on anything. So I tried to do some editing last week. I had so much planned last week to do editing. I thought I've got loads of speed. I want to just get loads of shit done, get myself all up to speed. But as it was, that didn't really happen. So hence I'm quite a bit behind again. But I will.
Well, that makes it even worse, though, doesn't it?
Yeah, because I was like, I was going to be getting a shit done week that week, and shit didn't get done. Apart from the essentials, make sure my car wasn't going to have a tire explode.
Apart from the essentials, staying alive.
Yeah. So, but it's okay. I've got another holiday in August, so perhaps I'll do some shit then.
Yeah.
I was clever, you see. I've put the last week of August, full week of August off, and that's the August bank holiday, so I've got basically 10 days off. I've been clever there.
Good job.
Yeah. There's a couple of people at work who plan to go to a festival, and they saw that me and another colleague had already booked the week off. It's like, oh, you booked off? I said, yeah. He said, we're going to go to a festival. I said, oh, yeah. I said, you should have booked it sooner.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah. It's like, sorry. Not sorry. I'm going to enjoy my holiday.
Not changing it. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. So, that's good. And then off in October, we're going to go see the Bayeux Tapestry.
Interesting.
Because it's coming to the UK. It's gone to the British Museum, so presumably we're not going to give it back. And it's in mother wants to go see it, so I'd like to go see the Bayeux Tapestry. You know, it's in the UK. Otherwise, I had to go to the foreign places to see it. So it'd be quite nice to see it. So she had to join a queue to get tickets yesterday, and there was like she was like 20,000th place in the queue. And she's doing all right. Then she clicked the back button back, and had to go back forward. It was like the 40,000 beds in the queue. She got them, but we're going October, mid-October, beginning part of October. We've got our tickets booked for 12:10. I thought, blimey, how quick are we being shuffled through this place? You got booked for 12:10 specifically. So we're going to go see that.
Yep. You've looked. Go on.
I want to see the bit of his arrow. I want to see the bit of the arrow in his eye. I want to see the bit of his arrow in his eye.
Keep going.
This force march through. That'd be very much like I went to Dover Castle. They've got the underground war chambers. Like they build loads of tunnels underground in the cliffs of Dover, where there was like 3 levels, and basically built this is used as like a bunker basically for war planning and stuff. It's where they planned Dunkirk from. So they planned that. So it's quite a thing. And I remember going there many years ago as a kid, and I enjoyed it, but it was like a bit at the time. There was like one bit that was closed off under the official Secrets Act until like 2020. It was closed off, or like 2015, I think it might have been actually. So you couldn't go down there. Well, obviously that's now been gone, so you can now go down there. So I wanted to go back and see it, but went there and went on the sort of like you couldn't like just go around. You had to go on a tour. And my word, I swear those tour guides were like on a schedule, because they force marched us through that whole place so quickly. It was actually quite disappointing because you didn't get a chance to look at anything. It's like, okay, here we are. Okay, this is where this happened. Right, next room.
I get it. So it's almost like they open the door, point in there, go, that's what happened here. Shuts the door before you even get to look in, and then you walk on to the next place. Yeah.
It felt like they were being rushed through, so I was a bit disappointed actually in that one. The castle was lovely though. Lots of cliffs. Only got leg day in that day. Yeah, that's why my week was a white off with the heat. What about yourselves? Was your week a white off with the heat, or did you...
Oh mate, that was done. The best part was on that Friday, we went bowling with my eldest because that was his birthday. Poor little bastard's sunburnt to all hell because, much like yourself, he doesn't do well in the heat. And he got caught out the Wednesday prior. We went bowling and we were all just fucking stood there. Like, I can't even remember how many of us there was, like 6 of us or whatever, 6, 7 of us.
Please
just stood there by the air conditioning.
Yeah,
we were stood there by the air conditioner going, oh fuck yeah. Like, weren't even worried about like score or anything like that. My youngest was like, yeah mate, I keep missing because of the aircon. It's like, dude, I get you. Just stand there.
Oh shit, it's my turn to bowl. Pretty well up. Throw the bowling ball right back into the aircon.
Yeah, basically, that was it. I was like, right, everyone drinks. Cool. Ball down there, fast as possible, back to the aircon, drinks again, nailed it.
Yeah. I think at one point Friday, I actually set the shower to its coldest temperature and went and stood in the shower for like 10 minutes.
And it was still hot.
It was refreshing, but it was amazing how quickly that wore off. It's like, damn you, evaporation.
Have you ever thought, I don't know if you do it, but like I do it here, I always keep a bottle of isopropyl about.
No, I don't.
So when it does get too hot, just a splash of it on your palms and a splash of it on your soles, on your feet. And then as it kind of evaporates, because it's alcohol, it just disappears, it pulls the heat away from you.
Doesn't it soak through your skin though?
That don't matter.
So it's like I'm a bit merry, but I'm bloody cool.
Mate, you only need to put a quick splash on, just enough
Oh
to
no,
fucking...
mate, I'll douse myself in it.
I just imagine you land in an isopropyl bath. It's like, Ram, are you alright, mate? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If I die, I'll be well preserved. We have the we put wallows out for the pigs, so it's basically they basically dig a big ditch. The pigs do it if you put water out. You fill it with water, and it's just full of water, and it's because it's just in the soil, the ground, the dirt. It's just muddy and dirty. But when you fill that up and you look and you go, oh, that looks quite refreshing.
You're thinking, mate, I wish I was a pig right now.
You're seriously tempted to think, I could just go get it, because go get it again there as well. It'll be fine. There's plenty of space for all of us. Because the pigs, they'll get in, they literally get buried. They'll literally just have their heads sticking out. They'll proper get in there.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that looks...
Bless them. Nah, mate, that was pretty miserable that week.
Yeah.
Like, I think everyone's just been going, why the fuck haven't we got aircon? And why the fuck is it so hot?
To put in perspective, I think poor local aircon company are slightly in high demand. I rung up and put my referral with, like, get a quote, get someone to come around and do me a quote last Wednesday. I've still not heard anything yet.
Wow.
When my parents were on holiday last week as well, but they went away and it was hot where they were, and they didn't get much as they planned to do. They came in on Monday. They went to the same place, watched the offers, and got one because they thought, well, if you're going to get it done, we might as well have them look at ours as well and get quotes done at the same time. And possibly, if we've got to get both properties done at the same time, they might do us a bit of a deal for doing both at the same time.
Yeah.
May not.
Yeah, sure.
But you never know. So she went in there, and apparently there's a massive pile of referrals, and they found mine when they've put them both together now. So Mother's going to be the point of contact. So I was like, if they come last week, it'd been fine. Because I work, I have my phone on sort of like do not disturb, so I won't miss any call they ring. So Mother's not going to be a point of contact, so they're going to let them down both. But she's not heard anything yet either. So that just gives you how manic they must be.
Well, I mean, mate, I've seen, like, I've never really seen, like, aircon companies driving around town before. Right, like, you'll see everything else, fucking painters and decorators, delivery drivers, landscape gardeners, whatevers, builders, all that. I fucking saw, like, a string of aircon vans, like, installers, and I'm thinking, Jesus fucking Christ, just as everyone stood there kind of crackling under the sun going, fucking hell, I wish we had aircon.
I mean, we nearly did it after we had the last hot spell last year. We talked about it. I said, we're going to do it. Let's like plan it like in the winter time when it might be a bit cheaper to get it done in the winter time. Of course, what happens is you put the plan off and nothing ever happens. So we then sort of like I had to put I can't go on like this. We've been discussing the last 2 or 3 years where we should get it. And I think for the spate of time when it's going to be a bit of relief, it's just worth it. So I know it feels very more American. And let's be honest, it's not going to get any colder.
No,
this is clear how it's gonna be. We fucked the climate up enough as it is. This is how it's gonna be from now going forward. So we're gonna have to do something about it to survive. But there we go. So
let's be fair, our houses aren't built for letting heat out, are they?
They're designed to be. I've heard that old properties actually work slightly better because they have more airflow, so you pull more air through the drafts. I've heard. I don't know how true that is. I imagine it's going to vary an awful lot. But
in the case of this place, I'm sandwiched by people, so it's roasting hot all the time.
This is the trouble. You've got your only way your heat can get out of your house is straight up through the front and back, and the other one is because you're long and thin. So you've got your actual surface area to volume is probably quite low. So that's why you struggle. That's why I struggle in the heat, because I've got very low surface area to volume. So the square cube law works against me in this situation. I'm a bit like, how back in prehistoric times you had like cockroaches the size of like greyhounds, but that couldn't happen anymore because the oxygen's too low. I'm a bit like that. I'm slightly outside my area of comfort. But I think our houses are built to retain heat and insulating. And the trouble is, once it gets one or the other, in the wintertime it's great, but in the summertime, not so good.
That's it.
It's not so bad if there's a breeze. If trouble was, I think last week, the issue with last week, there's no wind.
And that's the trick, 'cause we live on the coast.
Yeah, there's no real wind, so there's no breeze, there's no flow for air. When if there's an airflow, it's not so bad because it pulls the air through and it pulls the door. And the other trouble is, I think what people don't understand about UK climate, because yes, I know like in the States it gets a lot hotter than here, but we tend to be a wetter climate and more damp climate, whereas it tends to be more dry. Well, not be funny, if it's drier, it feels a lot more, if it's a dry, low humidity, it feels a lot cooler than it actually is. So, whereas over here we suffer from high humidity, so it feels a lot hotter than it actually is, which is why we struggle and why we all whinge about it, even though there's places a lot worse than us.
Well, again, though, nothing here is built for it.
No.
And we saturate our cooling solutions a lot quicker because they're not designed for it.
No.
You know, and even as people, we don't have that many hot days in a year. So when they do come, we've not acclimatized to it. So
yeah. Also, it's also to my sisters. The trouble is if it was like going to be like the high 20s for like 6 weeks, after a week you would acclimatize and you wouldn't be so bad. It would be great, but you wouldn't be as suffering as bad as it is. But the trouble is, because we only get it for like 4 or 5 days, we just don't get the chance to acclimatise to it. We just don't get a chance to suffer to it. I mean, humidity feel temperature difference. I mean, I was out there, I thought, she feels quite cool. I was looking at it, it's like 24 degrees. I thought, that's quite cool. But as winter time, that'd be bloody hot.
Yep.
Because in winter time, my heating normally sits about 21, like I said, a comfortable temperature. So
yeah, it's a bit too much. That's still too much for me. I used to work at -16, mate.
I used to like it colder. I used to like I used to have about 19. But I've noticed in the last couple of years, I've started to feel the cold a bit more.
That catch up to you, don't it?
Yeah, I've started to feel a bit more. So I have found myself the last couple of years bumping up to like 21. And also, the greyhound doesn't like the cold. She can't handle the heat. She doesn't like the cold, but she can't handle the heat anymore. So we're a bit of an awkward situation. Like yesterday, she started to go sunbathing in the back garden. I was like, what on earth are you doing out here sunbathing? As it sat there laying at me, panting away. It's like, you need to come inside. I'm sorry. I know you love the sun. She loves going out. She loves sunbathing. She used to go out all the time. She go out and sunbathe. She loves it, but she just can't do it anymore because, she thinks she can, but she can't. So she was not happy.
Then she thinks you're a bastard for dragging her in.
Yeah, she does. She's not happy being brought inside and made to sit in the cool bit and try and keep her cool. So, but I do have really big fears that if we have another big bout of heat waves, that might be what finishes her off, to be fair, if I'm honest.
Well, let's say touch wood it don't.
Yeah, well, I'm doing everything I can to prevent it. But she was like, yesterday, she was very drunken on her back legs. She was like they were going everywhere, and she kept stumbling. She shook herself at one point. I thought she was going to fall over. She's like her back leg. She can't work. It's like she couldn't work on her back leg. It's very much like she'd had one too many sherries at the pub, and her back legs were like going everywhere. And she hasn't had sherries at the pub. She's underage. She's only 13. She's underage, so she's not. She can have a shandy with her meal, but that's about it.
That's about.
So she said. Yeah, but I called the vet about it yesterday, and I've got a call back this evening. It's probably the arthritis in her back playing her up. But again, it's just not a lot we can do about it. It's just about trying to sort of keep her balanced with a quality of life at the moment now. Unfortunately for her, she sat next to me, sort of like just gently yeah, bless her,
giving you the eyeball.
Yeah. Anyway, Skazz, I hear you want to have a rant.
Oh yeah. Well, not so much. It's just one of those. Of course, about bloody time, innit? Digital. So it's
Sony
upsetting a lot of people. Sony have stuck their foot in it, 3 times in the last week?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, bless them. And there's been loads of like crying about it and getting angry about it. But the bits that people got really wound up about, I didn't care for. And then the bit that got me, no one else was interested in.
Yeah.
Right? So it starts, right? Sony goes, oh yeah, 500 films. we are taking them off the store. Even if you've bought them, you can't watch them anymore.
Yeah,
you've
I saw
licensed
that.
them, you've paid for them, no streaming, no downloading, they're gone.
Yeah.
So, all right, and you have a look at the list, and you just got no joy. Fucking, was it like Hot Fuzz, Rambo,
Terminator 2's gone as well, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know if it's only happening to us, though, because I have heard somewhere that it's only happening because of a licensing problem in the UK.
Oh, I've seen people talking about it on Reddit, which is predominantly Americans, and they've been talking about it being deleted in libraries and stuff, so I expect it might be over there. Maybe it's not quite so extensive.
Yeah. And then what was the other one? So after that, no more than like a day after that, apparently they announce, hey, yo, after 2028, no more discs.
I thought it was 2027.
No more discs. No, 28.
28, okay.
2028, no more discs. No more physical media.
Let's be honest, you haven't really had physical media for your games anyway for quite some time. It's just been a install, download a patch and off it runs site situation. So,
which is what I've been saying for so long, and yet people still shout at me every time I bring it up.
Yeah.
They've been doing that since the PlayStation 3. Your disc is basically a license. You install the game, you put the disc in, it's running a check to see that you've got the license for the game because of the disc. Kind of like back in the day on PC. You put the disc in, the game's on the PC, and it's like you install a no CD patch or whatever, and you don't have to have it. But like, it is just there to auth that you've got the game. And there's like, oh yeah, but if I haven't got the internet, then I can still play the game because I've got the disc. And it's like,
you can if you've got digital download as well.
Well, you can until the servers go down and it phones home.
Well, I'll say you can if you've got Steam play on offline mode. I'm not sure about Sony.
That's still got a limit to it.
It's only, you have to have it obviously downloaded, and also I think there are certain companies like Ubisoft have the phone home.
Yeah, but like that's kind of what they're getting at, and it's like because they're saying, well, if I've got the disc, and so my argument for physical at the moment, right? Because they're not going to produce them in a couple more years. Everything's gone digital. I say everyone, sarcastic air quotes. The vocal minority are pissed off at getting rid of the stuff. And I say vocal minority because I've got numbers. Rough numbers, but still. Right? Ever since the PlayStation 3, you buy a game, you put it in your system. Let's say you buy it on launch, you've got a version 1 of the disc. I'll tell you what, let's go to PlayStation 4. No Man's Sky. No, and I use this all the time. Nobody wants to play version 1 of No Man's Sky. It was shit. Near enough everyone says it was shit. So if you are playing No Man's Sky today, you're probably running like version 6 or whatever it is now, right? Version 1's on the disc. Your PlayStation, your Xbox, whatever it is, dies. You go out and you buy a second-hand Xbox or whatever. There's no online connectivity anymore because the store's gone and all that. All the servers are gone. You put your disc in. Who gives a fuck? That's a snapshot of version 1. That is not the game you want to play.
Yeah.
All right? Then, okay, Cyberpunk. The complete collection. The pack with whatever the DLC is called. The
Shadow Legacy? Shadow something like that?
Phantom Liberty.
Phantom Liberty. I was completely wrong. Yeah, Phantom Liberty, yeah.
Whatever it is, right? That whole extra part of the game. Right, they released a complete set. Now, I could be getting the platform wrong, but depending on what platform you buy it on, you don't even get the full game on the disc anyway. So for all of the collectors out there going, oh yeah, well I own the disc, so I've got the full game. You haven't. And there's a whole bunch of games that don't have the full game on the disc. Right? I think on the Xbox, you get the full game. On the PlayStation, you've got half of it. They'll go, well, it launches when I put it in the system. It's like, yes, but you won't be able to complete it. Because it's like when you put a game into the PlayStation, it will install the initial area of the game so you can play whilst it's still installing the rest in the background. Clever. But basically, if it doesn't get to install the rest of it, you are fucked. It's not going to work. So again, your disc is a coaster. It's a snapshot. But
what's worse than that? Because it's not a snapshot, it's an incomplete game. It's it's worse.
Depending on what platform. And then I've said to people, well, okay, if you've got a version 1 disc, and your mate has got a version 6 disc, like a complete disc, which one's worth more when the service gets shut down? Preservation-wise, you'd say that the version 6 game is worth more, and that's the full game, assuming it's all on the disc. The version 1 disc, well, that's a completely different game.
All you've got to do to realise that you're not going for a game is look at the size, the install size on like PC, how big the install size is, and then look at how much you can store on a disc.
But they don't understand that, mate.
Yeah, discs. I mean, are they still? What are they on now? Because obviously, Blu-ray was like the last time. They're still Blu-ray size discs. That's where about.
Dual layer Blu-ray.
Is that 4.7 gigs? I believe.
Nah, it's more than that, isn't it?
Is it now? I've not dealt with physical media such a long time.
There are definitely games that take more than a Blu-ray. I don't know how big dual layer Blu-rays are.
You can have compression. You know, you can press it down, then it can expand outwards. But even that, you're not going to go massively different. What's the size?
I haven't got a thing to check, so that one will be on you, mate.
This capacity. Okay, so Blu-ray discs can go anywhere from 25 to 128 gigabytes. But that's
right,
like
and there's a bunch of games now that are coming into like 100 odd gigs.
But that's a quadruple layer Blu-ray XL disc. Now, the question is how. I'm assuming that I don't know what Xbox has got in it, but has it got the ability to read a quadruple layer disc? I don't know how backwards compatible that is. I'm assuming not, because you have to adjust the laser somehow to make it read it. So I imagine it'd be able to do dual layer.
I was under the impression that everything was running dual layer at this point. I could be wrong.
Which would be 50 gigs.
Because the hardware's only like, 6 years old at this point?
That would be 50 gigs then. I suspect the triple and the quadruple layer like specific use, you know, they're more refined use. So apparently he says 50 dual layer is industry standard.
Yeah.
So
that sounds about right. Because I think Cyberpunk on some platforms comes on two Blu-rays.
Yeah.
I think Final Fantasy Rebirth, which is like 120 odd gigs, comes on 2 discs. I could be wrong because I don't own the physical of it, but you know, this is what Sony have said, at least, that when they've looked at the numbers, and 80% of users on the PlayStation buy their games digitally.
That's what
they are saving a small fortune pressing all those discs.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was sort of thinking. So, because you've got consideration that a lot of people may only play. What's the PlayStation version of Game Pass called?
That's just PlayStation Plus, isn't it?
PlayStation Plus. I bet a lot of users just play the PlayStation Plus games as well.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
And that's all digital.
Yeah.
So,
you know, some people don't even buy games when they're on Xbox or PlayStation. They just get that monthly subscription because you need it to play online anyway. Yeah. And they just play the games that come with that.
Yeah.
So, you know, and so they go, well, you don't own it. So, but you didn't own it before.
No. You haven't owned
yes, it's harder for them to come and take it from you, but you haven't owned it for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, minus patches, you still don't have the full game.
No.
But, you know, a lot of console guys they're not very tech savvy.
Yeah.
So if you say that to them, they get really arsy about it.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what do you think the patches are for?
Yeah. Try playing that game on a fresh PlayStation. Try playing the game with the internet disconnected and see what happens.
Well, there is a website that does that. They do run checks for it. And they'll check to see if like the full game is on the disc or if it's only half of it. And they say, oh yeah, majority of games are the full thing. It's like, but if the game has had even a single update patch, bug fixes or extra content or whatever, you are still missing out on a fresh PlayStation with no internet connection.
And if there's any like DLC or anything like that, you're not going to, unless they like release like a Game of the Year version which has it all, you're not going to have it.
Then yeah, exactly. Then you're basically shit out of luck. And I've been trying to say this to guys for fucking years. Like, yeah, but what about the second-hand market? Dude, the second-hand market's shit. No one's buying second-hand fucking PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 games. Because even those are disgustingly expensive, and you can get games on sale digital for fucking pennies. And you still have to install them.
And it's not true that there are some games where when you put the disc into your console, actually like links it to your like console account. So it's like, this is your game now. So if you put on another one, it won't work. Have I made that up?
So like, that was like going to be a thing back in the day. But like, so for example, Destiny. If you buy Destiny, which is a live service game, and you buy the game with all the DLCs, and then you go and sell it, so like all the expansion packs, if you go and sell that to like CEX or whoever, Cashies or whatever, you'll find an entire shelf of those, and they only cost like £1 each. I was like, well, yeah, because they haven't got any of the content. Like the extra expansions and stuff that you need to actually play the game are going to cost you like 50, 60 quid anyway. Like the base, that's already been, someone has already redeemed those keys. So
yeah,
they're tied to someone else's account. So you're going to have to buy them again anyway.
Yeah. Wasn't it also like sort of based on this as well? Because Grand Theft Auto, Rockstar announced that next Grand Theft Auto is not going to have any like. It's just they've actually basically said there isn't going to really be a physical version of it. If you buy the boxed version from a shop, it's just going to be a key.
Yeah, which I mean, loads of games have done that before already. And it's like, well, yeah, because if you think about it, as we've just said, a Blu-ray, depending on the number of layers, the density of the disc, is going to tap out at like 50 gig.
Yeah.
I guarantee you that game's going to be over 150.
What I mean, from my saying Rockstar, it won't even have a disc in the box. It'll just be a key.
Well, no, I get that. But what I'm saying is, the reason for it is, why would you ship a game with 3 discs?
Exactly.
3 discs in this day and age?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but that's my physical game. Dude, that's going to cost them a fortune. You guys don't want to pay $80 for a game.
No.
You shit the bed if a game costs more than 50. Imagine manufacturing on that cunt. That's part of the reason why Nintendo have said that they're doing the game key card thing, because the cards are expensive. So they'd rather give you a key with a license on it to download from the eShop. That's what the game key cards are. You put the cartridge in and it downloads from the eShop. So people can literally, here you go, have a 4 gig card with a key on it, and we'll download the rest from the shop.
Basically, anybody out there, you've been using digital distribution with extra steps all this time. You've been, even if you physically go to the shops, you've just done distribution with an extra trip you didn't need to do.
Yeah.
You've
wasted
the Amazon driver's diesel fuel to come to your door to give you something that's just a digital distribution. It's
been that way now, in a sense, since the PlayStation 3 generation, as I say, with the different versions of the discs, you know, and is average Joe consumer going to know which version of the disc is tied to what serial number that's on the back of the box or whatever, to know which one's the complete game, which one's half the game? You know, are they actually going to check? No, because half of you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, so you wouldn't know to check. You just assume it's all on the disc, right? You've had this issue now since the PlayStation 3. I can't even remember when that cunt came out, like 2007? Right? Yeah. So we're talking like 20 years. This has been going on for the longest time.
Yeah, it's not new.
I don't understand why people are so surprised. I will give them one thing, though. On PC, everyone goes, who cares? We've had this on Steam for ages. Or on PC for ages. Yeah, but we have choice.
Yeah.
The console users don't.
No.
And so they go Sony's way, or Microsoft's way, or Nintendo's way, or they get fucked. Whereas we can go, I'm going to go GOG, I'm going to go Steam.
Epic Store even. If you want, if you have a punishment. But you can go.
But we have options.
We have options, yeah. You can even go down the route of things like Kinguin or CD keys and buy, although they're not as good as they used to be, those sites, and buy yourself a CD key and they're at a discounted rate, and then it just activate it.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I remember similar. There were similar grumbles and stuff back when Steam first launched, when it first became a thing.
Yeah, I remember. Because I hated Steam when it first came out.
Yeah, a lot of people did. You know, a lot of people were, particularly because obviously Half-Life was perhaps the big one. That's all they were pushing it with. It existed before Half-Life. Oh, there were games, because I had games on it before Half-Life 2. Sorry, Half-Life 2. I didn't mean Half-Life 2, but everybody knows I mean Half-Life 2, but I'm just going to say Half-Life 2. Half-Life had already been around a long time. There were games that were out it before Half-Life 2 came out, but that was sort of when they were really pushing, like, go digital, do it this way. And I know a lot of people griping and complaining and how it's not going to fail and go forth. Steam solved it by basically being a good system. That's how they fixed it. They basically made a good bit of software. They made it easy to get stuff. You know, Gabe and famously said piracy is a distribution issue. Not people. If
they've made it more convenient for us than anything. Whereas a lot of other places, they haven't really shown good customer relations over the years. You know, whereas Steam has tripped up over the years. I've had many a gripe with Steam and Valve over the years, but 3 out of 5 at least they've done something about it. Whereas near enough every 5 to 7 years, Xbox, so Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo shoot themselves in the fucking foot, and you go, "Why are we doing this?"
I think there was the mental thing with as in the mental reason why it was different with PC games is that one is a choice. B also, even back then when you because you installed a game physically, it didn't run from the disc. It installed into your PC. You could then modify it. A lot of people I'm sure you probably may have done this. I used to, as soon as I installed a game, I'd go on nocds.com and I'd find the crack that gets with the disc, and I'd run about the disc. I mentally knew the disc wasn't required for the game. The game was on the PC, and installed it, and so it was always just data. So all Steam did was remove that last physical bit of plastic away from the equation. Whereas obviously back then consoles, the disc was the game. You know, like PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, the disc was the game. So there was that.
I'd say it's just. I wouldn't go as far as to say that they're tech illiterate, but they're clearly not.
It's a mindset. I think it's a mindset is different. You're in a mindset of, if you're using PC, you're in a mindset of this is just data on a hard drive, because you just have that of you used to installing patches and so forth and stuff, which PlayStation 1 and 2 you couldn't do.
Nope.
Yeah, unless you bought. If your game had a bad bug, you better hope they launched a Game of the Year edition a bit later where they fixed it. You know, you didn't have the option to do it, whereas in PC back in the 90s, you could just download a patch and fix something and correct it. So there was more an idea that it was a mutable bit of information just on a hard drive, rather than this is the physical game disc I have in front of me. And I think that was just that was a slightly mental different mindset. I'm not saying they were tickle it's just a mindset difference, that you're already in that realm of this is just data on a hard drive rather than this is my game. And so that's carried on through to my game is on the disc and it isn't. That's what I think. Whereas and that's why because obviously PC's been predominantly digital. I'd say Steam launched 2003, 4. I think Steam first launched around that time,
something like that. So,
and that was the early days. I would say within 10 years, digital became the primary method of getting a game for PC. Possibly a bit earlier than that, but it was the primary way you got your game. I mean, I remember buying. I used to buy physical. The only time I used to buy a physical game was if it was like a nice collector's edition. I wanted. Agreed. And
largely the same.
Yeah, but even then, you're buying the collector's edition for the physical box stuff in it, not really for the disc. The disc is sure. So what I bought, I think the last collector's edition I bought was Deus Ex Human Revolution. No, Mankind Divided. I bought the collector's edition of that. Was I think the last one I bought. And when I bought that, I wasn't buying the game. I was buying the game.
You were buying the statue, the soundtrack.
I was buying the CD key on the disc, and I pop it to the PC, and it's just going to link up to the Steam, which is what it did. Just think, say, "Oh, off we go," and there we go. I think there was a mindset difference, and I think that mindset difference has sort of like drifted past, because it has been for a long time not been like that. Yeah. And discs are they are physically printed feed. They're not like in some ways Nintendo were clever with like the DS, which was just using flash cards, because you probably bump a lot of flash cards a lot quicker, and you just use a generic flash card from anywhere and just use it. Whereas a disc is actually a printed physical thing. It's not like you can't. They're not rewritable. They're not flash. You can't buy. You buy like the blank and have to physically print it. Whereas, like, you want to, oh, we need to do a production of another 1,000 cartridges. That's easy. We'll just buy a load of SD cards from thing in the format, just put the labels on them and format them. Off we go. Put a rewrite protector something on them, and off you go.
I would argue in this case. So a lot of people are saying how they want the physical media for game preservation and actual ownership and all that. But I've seen a lot of console guys don't seem to understand that in the case of Nintendo, the 3DS, some games have been known to just fail. And what I've said to them is like, what they do a little bit of digging and they go, oh my god, this is NAND flash. Oh my god, this disgusting stuff fails. Fuck you, Nintendo. I was like, well, yeah, that's what NAND flash does.
Yeah.
Like, if you leave it for time, just sat there doing nothing, it will bit flip. It will bit rot. It will just die because that's NAND flash. It's the same as what you have on your SSD. If you put an SSD in a cupboard and you leave it there for 20 years, it probably isn't going to turn on when you plug it back in. It's like, what did you guys think was going to happen? I said, what about the storage on, like, say, your Wii U or your Switch? That's NAND flash. Your PlayStation, the storage is NAND flash. Yeah. It's all NAND. It's going to die.
Yeah.
Discs will fail. They will degrade. It's plastic. It will just melt. Look at all of the arcade boards from the 70s that don't work now because chips have failed.
Yep.
This is what physical...
Yeah.
Physical devices still fail. Yeah. And I then argue with the console guys, dude, why do you think ROMs and emulators are so popular now? Do you honestly think half of these people that you see online are playing that big collection they have on their back wall? Do you think they're really busting out their Super Nintendo or their Mega Drive to play that one game? Are they? Fuck. They're busting out a fucking retro handheld, like a portable emulator, or loading something up on their PC. They're not pulling out the disc. This stuff has been preserved for fucking years.
Yeah.
You can play Switch games on your PC already. No one cares. The people who are even remotely tech savvy already have all of this stuff downloaded and preserved on their computers.
Yeah.
Because they know the hardware is going to cark it eventually.
Yeah.
Even if you've got a physical collection, what do you do when you can't buy a Switch anymore?
Yeah. Yeah. It's all going to die eventually. Nothing lasts forever. There are
a number of PlayStation 1 systems that don't work, and then these guys go, yeah, well, I've changed my disk drive to an ODE, an optical drive emulator. And I was like, well, then you're just playing a fucking digital version anyway.
Yeah. There's
no disc there.
Yeah.
It's a dump.
Look at the sum of human knowledge over the sort of centuries. How much human knowledge has been put into papyrus, vellum, and so forth. How much of it still exists now? Unless it's been stored perfectly and been maintained and or copied and retranscribed again and again and again.
Yep.
It just doesn't exist. There's very few things, unless you're going to carve it out of stone, which will last a few thousand years, nothing's going to last.
Yep.
They talk about this actually in the last book of the Free Body Problem. When they want to preserve some of humanity's race is going to disappear, they want to preserve it. They try and figure out a way to do it because nothing digital will work. So in the end, they just carve stuff in really big letters on. They just carve it into stone, but really massive letters. So if it revers, you can still read it. Yep. And that's their solution.
Yeah.
To make it last for hundreds of thousands of years.
Think about in the time since we were kids. Just bringing it back to actual technology. We had vinyl. Those wear out. Cassettes, magnetic media. Those fucking die all the time.
Yeah.
Floppy disks, magnetic media again, just fails out of the blue. Right? Cartridges with ROMs on them, they just die.
Yeah.
Right? Your console's RAM could fail. If you've got a modern console and it's got NAND on it, that's going to go bad eventually. This stuff isn't going to last. And if it's mechanical in any way, shape, or form, disk drive, lasers, fuck off, guys. Come on. Use your fucking melons. How many PlayStation 1s are still running without you having to put the fucking thing upside down or fiddling with the pot on the laser? Same with the Sega Saturn.
I mean, to be fair to mechanical things, is they're generally repairable because you can
if you can still get the parts,
or if you've got access to something like a, it depends what it is mechanically. If you're like say a gear, you can probably 3D print a gear and so forth. What you can't easily repair is like chips. Because they are, particularly if they're bespoke. I mean, fucking hell, think about the PlayStation 2's a motion core, or whatever it's called, the 8-core thing about. That's a very bespoke bit of hardware. That's not made off the shelf component. If it's something off the shelf, if it's like an old, really old console, which has just got like something like Pong, which has got off the shelf components making it up, you can repair that. You can just buy an equivalent place and repair it. But something that's got like bespoke chips in it, you're fucked. Yep. Unless someone has been kind enough to, unless it's like a standard form factor, like RTM like 16, like I think it's RTM 16, like the Arduino uses, a standard bog standard chip that you can flash different prototypes. If you have something like that, then yes, in theory, someone could read off a good version, copy it, and then you could flash it onto a new one and replace it. In theory, but if it's something that's bespoke, that was made for that device, that's got custom or worse encrypted data on it, or something like that, you can't copy. You're fucked when that goes. There's no one making new versions of it.
Yep.
It's not replaceable. So, unfortunately, that's the trouble with technology. As technology gets more advanced and more things and more all the stuff that basically anything that's got any sort of form of copy protection in it is basically making a life on the on system, because like, well, we're going to make it so that this thing can only this BIOS is only linked to this system. You can't ever switch over like Apple does with its cameras and stuff, but it's like it's linked to the system.
Yeah, serial locked,
Serial locked. Then, well, at that point, you've got a timeline of its life, because you're not going to be able to swap components from other devices and make it work. You're not going to be able to like take two broken devices and amalgamate together and make them work, because they will be locked together. Like, nope, sorry, this isn't the chip I was speaking to previously. I'm not going to work for you. And if you do any sort of like anti-piracy or anything like that, or anti-repair stuff, it's just going to cause these problems. Which is why right to repair is such an important thing.
Yeah.
But
no, I agree. And again, like, games preservation is still incredibly important. But understand that we've been doing this for years now. And again, you're not playing old Super Nintendo games, old Game Boy games. Some people are, I get that. But physical collectors are only, like, what, 20% of the market?
Let's be honest.
20% of the market.
If you have a physical game collection, you have it because it's a nice thing to have, but it's basically just paper rates or coasters. Yeah. And I kind of get that. Be able to say, this is my collection of physical games, and it's all physical games. But it's no different to like going in a library and go, here's our collection of these rare books. We never read them because they're so rare, they're dangerous to touch. You don't want to damage them, but they are kept here in preserved place just in case they are preserved. But we've got.
It makes me think. Look, if you really, there are some places out there who will still print physical media, or you can still buy PC Engine games. In 2026, through companies like PCE Works, they will manufacture and press PC Engine CDs, right? Limited run games, they do cartridges and some discs and all that kind of stuff. Look, yes, you've got that great collection. Yes, it looks really cool. But some of us, I know some people, right, who have literally got a shelf that is just like, you know, when some games used to come on like pen drives? Back in the day, they'd make a box. They'd buy like like plastic like VHS cases and stuff. They'd get those and just print on them. They'd make their own like little case and their own little booklets and stuff. And they'd go, "That's my thing that I'm putting on the shelf because I own this game or I own this thing." There are some people out there who would go that hardcore to have a physical thing related to the thing that they want to have.
And you know what? That's fine. That's all power to you.
Like, I'm just kind of saying, like, you know, guys, yes, you've got something that's nice on a shelf, but 3 out of 5, you're not pulling it off the shelf. You're just fucking not.
No.
And again, with the Super Nintendo stuff, with the PlayStation stuff, like my Saturn stuff, I've got an optical disc emulator in my Saturn. I'm not busting out my Saturn games to play on my Saturn.
I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't think having physical copies of things, even if they are just a thing that really is worth, it's not usable, still fine. It's still fine in my find. It's no different to having ornaments or anything like that on a shelf.
It's just there to say that, guys, we've been archiving for years. Just because it's not on your disc and you don't have a disc doesn't mean it isn't being preserved.
Yeah.
Case in point, all of the old school games that people are downloading to play on emulators.
Yeah.
They are preserved. They are being stored. There are people dumping physical media. There are people decrypting digital images. So, like, if you buy a game digitally on, say, Switch or PlayStation, there are people out there who have downloaded their encryption keys or copied their encryption keys, and they've started writing software to decrypt that data. There are people out there doing that.
Yeah.
Right. So your physical disc doesn't mean as much as you think it does. It is a purely sentimental kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Object.
Not figurehead. Yeah, just look at just a thing.
Yeah, it's just a thing.
Right? We're not busting out all this old stuff to play with our kids. We're showing them a new way of doing it. Sometimes we do bust out the older stuff, but Mr. FPGA wouldn't be as popular if not for digital.
Yeah.
Right? We're not connecting up discs and stuff to Mr. FPGA. Yeah. We're not fucking busting out your Super Nintendo collection for the Polymegas and stuff like that. Like, just stop it.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're not wrong. And it's because the other you've got to do is things like companies and stuff not preserving their stuff with Game Pass. I mean, was it Fallout 1 that they lost the source code to because no one thought to back it up? But it turned out like some random programmer who'd worked at it, she'd actually took a copy home. And so when the company when obviously sort of collapsed, and they thought they lost the source code because no one bothered to back it up. But it turns out she'd had to keep the copy. I think it was something like classic. I think I'm saying Fallout 1, but I'm not 1% sure it's that game. But there was one game basically. If that one person hadn't backed up and created against company policy, against the rules, if they hadn't done that, we would have no access to the source code of the first Fallout.
Yeah,
I think so. Digital stuff is surprisingly, if it's not allowed out into the ecosystem to be backed up, it's surprisingly fragile. If it's protected, so any more modern games that have got massive, have to phone home, have to do this and so forth. If say Ubisoft went completely bust tomorrow and it's completely crashed, potentially all that data is locked away forever.
Yeah.
And gone if it sits on the company servers for however long, and then eventually they die, and because some company's been fighting over the legality of covering the company, it just goes and dies because it's going to be hard for someone to backwards engineer from the source for the games because they want to phone home. I mean, people can obviously, people are clever, but it makes it a lot harder.
That's why the Stop Killing Games movement is also very important, and I fully support.
Exactly.
If you buy something, you should still be able to use it when servers and DRM check servers fuck off. You should still be able to use it.
Did you see the I think it's the ESA is the group who's going against them. Did you see that woman's stupid comment about servers, about private servers?
Not a clue, mate. What happened?
Basically, they likened using a private server the equivalent of not losing officials, the equivalent of piracy.
Right.
I'm not sure the full argument, but some people point out saying they use an example of Minecraft private servers, which people then immediately point out and said, you do know literally on the Minecraft launcher it has instructions of how to set up your own private server.
Silly bastards.
Yeah.
I could somewhat understand the argument if they were talking about WoW or a game that doesn't have an offline mode, but at the end of the day, if they're not going to provide a server and someone has been smart enough to reverse engineer a server emulator, then fuck them.
Yeah, exactly. But no, I'm with you. I'm fully behind Stop Killing Games. Fully behind them.
I don't want people to lose their stuff, but I just want people to understand that the stuff you have on your shelf isn't as it's still likely to die.
Yeah.
You're just as likely to lose it as I am my digital collection.
Yeah.
And I still buy physical games from time to time. I'm still very tempted to from time to time. I haven't made my entire collection digital in quite some time. I think I stopped buying physicals partway through the Switch's life.
Hmm.
I want this stuff to last forever. But
Yeah.
your physical collection's going to go to shit if you have a house fire
Yeah.
because you haven't backed it up. If there's a flood, natural disaster, tornado, whatever, you fucked it. Someone comes in and steals it. I mentioned that today when someone was talking to me. I lost a majority of my GameCube collection because someone just decided to steal it.
Yeah.
Think of all the times that people have moved house. Someone's broken into the back of the removal van and a few boxes are gone and you've lost a few grand's worth of retro gear.
Yeah.
There
It's
are other ways that your physical collection is going to disappear.
yeah. But at the same time, it's at the stage like there's lots of ways it could disappear. But at the same time, don't worry too much about it. Just
enjoy the damn thing.
Enjoy things. Things can happen. Don't lose sleep over it because statistically it probably won't happen. But don't lose sleep over it.
The reason I keep arguing about the emulators stuff, right, and the fact that we're not playing these old consoles on the actual hardware anymore is like, guys, please think about it. If the digital games and all that disappear in the future, they're going to end up just like the Super Nintendo games, just like the PS2 games, just like the PS3 games. Eventually, some smart motherfucker is going to have had that thing cracked, and you're just going to be able to download it and emulate it on another machine. I promise you, it's exactly the same as all of the stuff that's come before it. I promise you, someone is going to go out of their way to do this work. They already have. Switch, you can emulate it. PlayStation 4, you can emulate it. I'm not sure about I think you can, the 360 as well, actually. So, everything up until this current generation, we've got emulators for. We've got disk dumps. We've got decryption tools. The data is safe. It's fine. Even if you're like, well, your licenses will be taken away. I will do exactly the same when my consoles fucking go dead, when the store gets shut down, I will just hack it and I will decrypt my data. Just like I did with the Xbox 360, just like I do with the PlayStation 3, just like I do with the fucking 3DS and the Vita. It doesn't matter. There are ways around all of this. People are not going to lose their shit if they do more than, say, 5 minutes of research. It's fine. Let people enjoy their hobby. You collect your physicals whilst you can. Let people download their digitals. No one's going to lose anything. Even if Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft shut down the servers, people will still find a way, like we have for all of the generations that have come before. I promise you. I fucking promise you. It's not going to be a problem. Otherwise, how the fuck do you think half the people around the world are playing Earthbound on Super Nintendo right now? Or Star Fox 2? Because I guarantee you, like, most people are not playing it on Switch Online or the Super Nintendo Classic or whatever. They are playing it from a ROM dump that was made years ago. I guarantee it. It's not that big of a deal. Don't worry about it. Now, third thing that Sony has done to stick the foot in it, and it's not quite as bad, they're shutting down, finally, the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita stores.
Right.
Finally. They are the last company to run servers from that generation. They are finally closing them for new purchasers. They are still there to download your titles. They're closing them down as of next month through to the start of next year, depending on what region you're in. You can still download stuff you've already purchased, just new stuff. You cannot buy it. You cannot buy new things after like next month or next year, depending on what region you're in and when they shut down. That's your third one from Sony.
That seems actually kind of reasonable.
It is, and that's the one actually that chapped my ass a bit. Because I was like, so after let's say we shut down in December. After December, I can't buy any new games on the PlayStation digitally or on the Vita. I'm like, fuck, man. That means that I have to go out of my way now to buy a few more games. So I was like, well, the Vita's been out for like fucking 15 years, something like that, 20 years. I don't know how long it's been out for. It's been a long fucking time, right? If I haven't already bought them, then what the hell was I doing? And for anyone that doesn't actually know, if you haven't used a PlayStation 3 digitally in a while, I have, to buy things, and I've bought things on the store recently, by the way, you actually have to jump through a lot of hoops because you can't actually do payment directly off the console anymore. It's not compatible. You have to add store credit to your account from somewhere else. Then you can use that credit on the console. You can't just go in and go, here's my credit card, buy game. I think that's kind of where Sony's having trouble with like payment processing and all that kind of stuff. So that's just like, this is too much effort. It's too many hoops for people to jump through. Just get rid of it. They've likely already bought all the games they want to buy already. Just shut it down and allow people to download. There's a couple of games I still want to buy because I still want to give them my money. I'm not all for pirating things if I can still buy them.
Yeah.
But as soon as that option's gone, man, I'm going to be hacking the shit out of those consoles.
Are they going to be doing like any? Are they doing like any sort of like last chance to buy sale type thing, like putting stuff really low cheap to?
Oh no, they don't do that. Although funny enough, PlayStation 3 still has sales. So does the Vita. Like it's been dead for fucking years, mate. Haven't been able to buy hardware for years, and yet they don't advertise it as much unless you obviously go on the PlayStation. But if you go on your PlayStation 3 or on your Vita, there are still sales going on right now, all the time, for those systems.
Well, for a little while longer anyway.
Yeah, for now.
For now.
You know, just enjoy it whilst you can.
Yeah, that's that seems fairly reasonable, to be honest. The fact that they still let you download the games, but it's a bit like Steam. You know, Steam may delist the game, but you can still download it. It's just hidden away in the background, which is, you know, kind of fine, because if there's a reason they can't have it anymore, then it kind of sort of makes sense that the fact they say no, you can still use it though. That's fine. So I've got
blame the company, not the distribution platform.
Yeah, I've got no real big gripes with that.
Yeah,
I'll allow it.
You know, I thought that was all right. And then people are like, well, they'll just do what they did with the movies. It's like, yeah, sure, they might do. But again, just like my Super Nintendo games, I'm not going to play the cartridge. Dude, if I had a quid for every time one of my mates with a big games collection goes, oh yeah, I'm playing my game on my SD to SNES or whatever, which is a flash card, or I'm using my EverDrive, whatever, another flash card for their Mega Drive or something like that, or I'm using I can't remember what the one is for, like the MIG switch on the Switch. So it's like, that's a flash card. It's like, so you're not even playing your physical collections anyway.
Yeah.
Yes, you've got the actual hardware. You are not playing the actual game. Just stop it. Calm the fuck down. Just stop it, please. Just play the games, enjoy them, have fun, learn about how the tech works. Stop complaining. I mean, complain if you want, but you haven't got any real say in it.
No. No.
And when the hardware dies, it dies. So just enjoy it whilst you got it.
Yeah.
And then emulate the shit out of it.
Right. Well.
Yeah, sorry about that, Ram.
That's right. That's fine. So I have been playing a game.
Okay, cool.
And the game I've been playing is called Planet Crafter.
Right.
It is a...
Question.
Yes, yeah.
Is that the multiplayer terraforming game?
Yes, you added to your wish list apparently on the 27th of June. According to my
there you go.
Woo! So, yeah, basically it's a space survival game, but it's a very chill. It's a very relaxing, chill survival game. I quite like it. So you are a convict, and as an option of you can either like spend your time in prison, or you have the option of going to a planet and basically terraforming it. And you are dropped on a planet. And if you choose that, you basically have to terraform. And then once you're done, if you successfully terraform it, that is your sentence served. You can go off and do your own thing. So the game starts with you being dumped on this barren, all the ground is red, there's no sky planet. You land there, and your job is to basically terraform this from the ground up. So how it actually works is you have like a terraforming score, and you have to increase it. There's like 4 things you can do to increase it. You increase the oxygen, you increase the temperature, you can increase the pressure, And there's also where you increase the biomass, but that comes a bit later, which is like greening and so forth. But you can't do that straight away because, well, there isn't any. So you have to like crafting. So to increase temperature, you have to build like these heaters that will just generate heat to increase temperature. And you can build like devices to make oxygen. You will find like scattered around planet, like in like crash ships and stuff, like seeds and stuff, which you can like build like devices that you can plant them and they'll actually start growing and producing oxygen. To increase pressure, you basically drill underneath. You have these machines that drill underneath the crust, releasing gases that increase the pressure. And these combine together to create a terraforming score. Now, you don't have to technically increase all of them at like a set rate. It's because the score is like a total. So you can have like oxygen really high, and the overall score scores like total altogether. So you can have like one really high and the other two really low. It doesn't really matter.
Sure.
It's like I said, it's quite a simplistic, in a nice way, sort of bare bones way of doing it. However, the reason you want to increase all of them is to unlock like new technologies are based on like these 4 tech trees, which are based on the oxygen, the heating, and the pressure, and then one based on the overall terraforming level you've reached. And as you increase these, you basically will unlock technologies for each one. They're unique for each sort of path. So you do want to increase all of them, but you don't technically have to.
Sure.
And the game works very simply. You go around, you pick up materials and so forth, like iron, cobalt, and so forth. Aluminium, uranium. You pick up these sort of like materials from the ground, and you then can obviously craft into various devices you need. And I like the fact that every sort of step of the way, it's like I think there's 15 levels of terraforming. So the first thing you do is basically create like blue skies. So you have this desolate red sort of sky planet. After the first sort of stage, you get blue skies, and then you can have like clouds, and then you can have like rain, and then you start getting like actual water forming on the surface. You'll get like rivers that start to appear, and the whole map, it's not like a procedurally generated map, it's a fixed map, but the whole map just changes constantly every level you get, so you can literally walk around and see the whole world changing around you as time goes on. It's really neat because it gives you something to work towards. You've got a goal, you've got a purpose, you've got stuff to achieve. That's nice because I'm at a stage now where the next level for me is insects. So once I get that, I'll start seeing insects starting to appear, which I can then like gather and so forth.
So if it's not procedurally generated, then does that mean there's a limit to the levels that you have?
Yes.
Or so there's just like a planet, and once it's done, it's done.
The game comes with 2 planets you can play on. There's what they call, there's like a standard planet, which is like your bare basic, I can't remember what it's called, which is like just like the first map and so forth. And they are like crafted planets. They know where everything is and so forth. The maps are fixed. There are DLCs where you can download additional planets. And there'll be like, there's one that's like sound like a very cold temperature. There's one that's like a toxic planet. You have to like detoxify the planet and so forth. So differently bring like more technologies and stuff. Because you start off, it's fairly basic. Your first stuff you craft would be like a shelter. So the reason I say it's quite casual is that it's fairly simplified. So you're crafting, most recipe I've ever come across is just like it needs like 9 things. In your inventory, there's no like stacking of stuff. It's like your inventory's got 15 slots. You can hold 15 iron or 15 cobalt or mixture of the two. This thing just requires like 3 of these, 3 of that. The recipes are all quite basic and simple. There's not a great deal to do. Sometimes the recipes build each other. So, for example, a recipe may require an iridium rod. Well, to get an iridium rod, you need to get 9 iridium and craft that into an iridium rod. So you get like the sort of like the chaining happening. But it's not like, okay, I need 60 of these and 120 of those and 500 of these, and I need to like machine and most. No, it's like the most you probably need is like 9 things. They might be quite rare to get, but you just need like 9 of those to do it. So it's all fairly straightforward. It's a game you can kind of sort of. There's no real threat. There's no hostile threats on the planet. There's no, most survival games have like some animals or creatures that will attack you. There's none of that on this planet. You're basically, the only real threat is like you might want to have oxygen or water or food. That's your food is your health. So as your health goes down, that's just your food. So if you eat food, that brings your health back up. So those are linked. Water just goes down over time, and then you have oxygen. And if you die, you just respawn back at your base. I think there is a hardcore mode you can have, which if you set to hardcore, if you die, the game deletes the save, which is kind of
wow.
Yeah, so there is that mode on it, but in general, there's no real threat. You can just all bomb around. You know, even like take from a big height doesn't take you a lot of damage. You will take damage. There are things like asteroid storms and stuff which will happen, but they won't actually. They won't actually, unless you get hit by them, they won't hurt you. But like your base is immune to them. Once you build your base is indestructible. So once you build it, if it gets hit by an asteroid, you'll just bounce off it and land next to it. So because it has got like base building it and so forth, and you need to build your base because your base also has like these like rooms in your base which will do like a lot of like there's one which is a biodome which increases like plant level on the planet, increases the amount of plants and biodiversity and biomass on the planet. So that's like a big upgrade to your base. You have to like sort of like build power stuff to it, and the game doesn't make you do things like, okay, you need to have your solar power panel within a range of your base. If it's somewhere on the map, it'll work. It doesn't care. Yeah, it's a real chill experience, and that's a standard experience. It's really chill. I mean, I was playing this last week, and this was like, in my heat-addled brain, this was enough. I could cope with this. I wasn't having to think too much about it. And
as he goes to a planet with no grass, just scorched earth, and he's like,
how's this realistic?
Just like outside.
Yeah.
Yes, just like outside.
And so and like oxygen is another example. So as long as you have a base, your base produces oxygen. There's no resource required for that. It just does. So
yeah.
You just walk into your base and you'll refill an oxygen. If it's like a single room, it'll just work. So you can refill. So you don't have to worry about oxygen. You can craft, like, as sort of like technology levels get higher up, you can unlock like vehicles. You can unlock a vehicle, like a little rover, which again is basically indestructible. You can just jump off the tallest cliff and it'll be fine. It'll just bounce when it gets to the bottom. And it's even got like they've even thought about a reset button. There's a hotkey for the reset button. So if it falls on its side, you just hit a button, it just resets itself back upright again. No harm. There's no like, oh shit, I've got it stuck now. I need to figure out how to get it unstuck. Type thing.
Kind of like the Warthog in Halo. If you flipped it, you could just go up to press a button and it'd flip back onto its wheels. Yeah.
Well, worst case scenario, you can just pick this vehicle up and put it in your inventory. Don't ask.
Oh, there you go. Magic inventory.
Yeah. The inventory,
pockets.
Your inventory it's a grid-based inventory, but the grid base that everything takes the same amount of space. A water bottle takes the same amount of space as a whole vehicle. We don't talk about that.
Sounds about right.
And as you sort of like you explore the planet, you'll find like shipwrecks, and you'll find more unique materials and so forth in those sort of places when you explore them. So you also have limited resources, but after a while, you'll like get like all machines that can mine the planet, and they'll just mine materials at the planet. That basically gives you like an infinite supply at that point. You have like 3 tiers of them. So you've got the machines that do basic materials. They've got machines that do like more advanced materials. And you have like the file where you can actually like filter it. So at the moment, say you plant an ore extractor down, it'll tell you what predominantly it'll pick up. So like you plant on like an area and say this will predominantly pick up iron. However, you'll probably also get magnesium, you'll probably also get some cobalt, and there's some silicon in there. You'll probably pick those up as well. Whereas like the next one does the same, but it's like more rarer materials, and the final one you can like filter it by so forth. Each level does get progressively harder to get. I think perhaps where it's sort of like Christmas early stage, it was all right because you're like still building your base and so forth, and you were gradually work your way through the levels. But it's something a little bit now like, okay, I unlock something at like 10 parts per 10 parts per million oxygen. The next one isn't till I get to 600 parts per million, which is going to take a long time.
Now, I wonder if this is the Valheim problem.
That's kind of what I was going to get to. That the thing is, though, you can't just grind it because let's take so if you've got a base set up with oxygen, you'll 5 oxygen. if you have once you get to higher sort of level fairly on, you can put like an outside collector for water, which will just collect water fine. That'll collect water quick enough that you will not dehydrate. You will not run out. If you have like 3 grower tubes which grow food, you're not going to run out of food. You're going to be fine. At that point, you kind of could just leave the game running and go away and just like go yourself and come back and just, eat a bit more food and so forth. If you don't really care about that, because you just respawn back in your base anyway, you can just accept that you're just going to die constantly every so often and just let yourself respawn back. And you could just walk away and just leave this running and it will just get to the next level, So the only way you can basically increase the rate at which it does stuff is by building more machines that generate heat or generate oxygen or generate things. You can get different tiers as well that will generate things a lot more efficiently and so forth. And it is a real one thing I do like about this, when you get the tier upgrades of something, it is a real massive increase. It's like it's not like, your machine increased oxygen by like 1%, this new one does it by 2. It's like no. Tier 2 does it like your current one does an oxygen like 1 unit per minute. This will do 10,000 per minute. It's a real proper upgrade. So it is worth upgrading stuff. So it does feel like every time you're going to lock stuff you do, it's like, this is going to be a lot better. But you also
go on.
But you also hit situations where, like, I've unlocked a beehive. Okay, I've unlocked that, but because I've not got to the terraforming level of insects, I can't do anything craft bees, because you have to craft bees. Okay,
as you do.
I can't. So that's basically useless to me at the moment. And I've had that a few times where I've unlocked, so I was like, this is no good. I'm gonna have to just wait. So I've put in about 30 hours into this now. And I have got to the point where I do feel like I'm just doing busy work. That's probably
you're spinning your wheels.
Yeah, I think that's probably where it's sort of lost a bit. Is that they've because they want to make like each sort of next level feel like a bit of achievement. They've made it really long, but actually you're just waiting.
But that's what I was getting at. I feel when I say this got the Valheim problem, the reason why Valheim was such a grind was that like that game is, I don't remember how many players Valheim maxes out at, but it was definitely a damn sight more than we had.
Yeah.
And you know, when I was playing, like it was me gathering, then occasionally Saber would come in to pick up and help, and then you'd come in to help us do the missions and stuff. The only reason that game was such a slog was because it was one person doing the job of like 10.
Yes. Yeah.
And I feel that's maybe what that game has got going on. Whereas, like, if you had, say, me, Zaber, and a couple of other people bundle in, you'd watch those numbers scream up to the next levels because we'd all be building our own unique things, gathering more materials to build the more unique things.
But there is a but here in that the only way to get, like, infinite materials is to have these ore extractors. Just in the areas, you won't find much. If we went and raided like one of the caves for Zeonite, we'd probably pick up like, or Xeon or whatever it is, we'd probably pick up like 6 between us, or that'd be it. This game also, I believe the co-op mode taps out at 4. Okay. It's quite the map isn't very big. Once you've got like the vehicle with the like tier 2 speed, the map doesn't take you very long to get around it. I could get around, you can like probably drive from one side of the map in literally like 3 or 4 minutes. It's not, the maps aren't massive. They feel massive. The only reason they feel big at first is because you have limited oxygen, limited water, so you can't go too far because you have to come back. Yeah. But once you get like the vehicle, I've now got an upgrade to my vehicle that my vehicle generates oxygen. So as soon as I go in the vehicle, I get full oxygen again. Now my only limiting factor is water or running out of space. Yeah. And that's it. That's my only limiting factor. I can go anywhere basically out there infinitely until I run out of water. And the vehicles, because the vehicles are everything's designed for multiplayer with multiplayer in mind, so the vehicles actually have spare seats on them, so your mates can jump on as well, and you can just ferry them places. And I'd imagine they'll have the same benefit. So I do think this one would tap out. I mean, if this grew 4, yes, you definitely get more stuff done, but only because there's just you can like split. Okay, you go off and then collect iron, I'll go collect cobalt. You go this. You could sort of like divide and conquer. So yes, you get stuff done more quickly, but you would be limiting resources fairly quickly unless you build lots of ore extractors. Again, limited resources to build them, but they're only going to pull through at a certain rate. Of course, it's going to be possible to farm these and like you know build more. Your big limiting factor is energy. there aren't many great energy options. You have basically solar panels, like the 2 levels. You have 2 levels of nuclear reactor, and then you have a fusion reactor, and that's basically your limits of power. And then you get a lot better. They do get a lot more better and so forth. But getting the resource for them find them is quite hard. And of course, you unlock stuff not through any sort of research, but simply by reaching terraforming levels. You are just basically about optimizing how quickly you can build the things. Okay, I need to get this. Okay, I just need to start focusing on building heaters. Okay, and then I'll get my speed up. But you will hit I think even with mates, you're going to hit a threshold of, okay, we simply can't do anything. We've just got to wait.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would hit that threshold. And that's probably for like where I was like, oh, okay. I just don't know. I just don't know how to keep myself busy. Yeah. Because there's nothing really I can do apart from just wait for this number to go up. I mean, you end up building your base out because your base is simple to build out. You can, it's a simple like block type base where they sort of just lock together. And I'm quite happy with my base. My base is quite nice. I've done it up. I've got like everything's like everywhere. Every I can fit a window, I put a window, so it's like all nice. It's all almost glass type base. It's quite nice. But I'm like, okay. Unfortunately, game, you've got a stage now where I just don't know what to do. I'm just like waiting now. I'm just doing stuff for the sake of it. I am trying to sort of like, okay, one of the things you unlock quite fairly early on, is a launch pad for rockets. And these rockets, when you launch them, they massively increase. I misread it at first. I thought that can't be right. A rocket will increase if your oxygen or your heat or your biomass. So oxygen, heat, one rocket will increase it by 1,000%. So, and they don't take a lot to craft those. So craft a few of those, all of a sudden your speed is really rapidly going up. But to counter that, each level takes a longer time to get to it. So I am going through levels fairly quickly. So I think I'm on I think it's 15 levels. I think I'm on level 9 of the terraform. And there is part of me that's like, I want to finish this. I want to see this finished. Because the sort of end goal of the game, the last thing you unlock basically is a launch pad that lets you go to space and basically escape. And there are other ways to complete this as well. But I'm at that stage like, okay, I'm now for I'm just doing a bit busy work. I think if the planet was bigger, because the planet is at the size where, you know how like some survival games where if you have a base, you kind of feel like you're sort of stuck with the bases because you can't go too far away. Or you have to like set up multiple little bases because the map's so big. If you have to set multiple bases to make it more sense. This game, you're never that far from your base. No matter how far out you go, you're probably only like less than a 5-minute drive back to your base, if that. Sure. You're not far. So the car feels a bit too small. I kind of like it. So like, okay, you've done. I would like something more like on the okay, this area here, you'll find all these sort of resources. You've done it now. You've built up base. Okay, now you want more rare stuff. You're either going to have to go a lot further away, and it's going to take you a while to get there, and you're going to have to pick up more resources and bring it back and accept it, and so you're going to do this constant shuttling, or perhaps set up a second base over there. You feel like moving on. Whereas as is, that they do have like areas where you will find things, but they are not far enough away to be a problem. Yeah. So I enjoyed the crafting aspect. I've enjoyed sort of building the base building. I said it's a very chill game. This is a great game to play when you don't want to have to think too hard about what you're doing. You don't have to really worry too much what you're doing. There's no real threat to it. There's no real like sort of, I mean, compared to say my go-to example of any sort of space game is of my favourite is Imperial Galactic Survival. That's probably my favourite of the ones I've played. In some ways the most clunky, but the one I like the most. There's a lot of there's a lot more threats in this whereas this is nothing. You don't have to worry about anything. The only mistake I did make early on was I built the base first base next to where the shuttle pod landed, thinking that's clever. The shuttle pod's here. I might as well like build nearby and use resources of it. Thought that was quite clever. Until I realised, I'm on the bottom of a valley here, and it's now starting to rain. So yeah. And so, luckily I thought, I better move my base. So I did. I moved it as far up as a cliff as I possibly could. I'm right at the top of a cliff area, which is lovely because I can just overlook most of the map, basically. It's lovely.
Right.
I'm glad I did now because where my base was would now be completely flooded. It's gone. It's the pod I landed with is now well under the water. It's well under the sea. So I'm glad I moved that. There is
Good call.
sort of a minor story to it. You'll occasionally get emails, but they're very few and far between. There's you get an email occasionally from another survivor of another planet. You'll get them from the corporation you're being employed by. Occasionally send you an email. There's another character called Riley, and I had to laugh because they sent me an email saying, "Oh, I've done a scan of your planet. There's a real thing at this location." It gave me the coordinates because it's you have in the bottom of the screen it's made in Unreal, so you have the Unreal coordinates in the back of your screen, so X, Y, Z are down sort of the core screen. I was like, okay, I'll go have a look what that is. Turns out where she sent me, I discovered it 10 hours previously, but
Yeah.
because I just explored the map, I found it. And there are some little bits. I love find the crashed spaceships because you can sort of explore the crashed spaceships and sort of find resources and stuff, which is kind of neat. There is stuff to do, but I feel like I've now hit sort of the bit where okay, I just don't really know what else to do now. I can't really craft anymore because most stuff I now need to do to craft the next layer of stuff is I can't do till I get to the insect stage. I've just got to wait that out until it gets there. So I think perhaps some of the timings for the different levels to everyone were perhaps a bit off. I probably would have pulled them down a little bit to make it a little bit more. I don't like a game where you're just sit there twiddling your thumbs and just having to wait for a number to go up. I want a game where you have something to do for the next step, and I think they've got that sort of balance slightly wrong. I did launch creative mode just to see how much I could fuck the game up, and because it's got a creative mode, I basically sat and say plan, and you can spawn anything. So I just spawned all the tier 4, all the tier 3 heaters and pressure feeds and so forth, and I literally just watched the planet just terraform in front of my eyes because everything was just rapidly going up. I've tried to build up and out of the map. That hasn't worked yet. I'm still building up my little ramp because I've got infinite materials. I can just build up and up and up. And I've not quite got outside the map yet. I'm just trying to find out how long it is before I can break that bit. But that was quite sort of fun and interesting. But I have to say, to be fair, so I've put about 30 hours in it, and I think the game is currently on offer, half price for $9.99. Normal price is 20 quid. So frankly, more than worth it.
Sounds fair.
It's definitely worth it. If you like the other chill game, it's a sort of game I think I'll find myself I just want to just play something a bit quiet and relax. I can't be asked to do anything. I'm just going to load this up and just do a bit more terraforming and stuff like that. I can feel myself doing that sort of thing with it. It's a Sunday afternoon chill game to play.
Kind of makes me want to start No Man's Sky again.
Interestingly, No Man's Sky was one of the ones I was going to consider giving a go. I thought about giving No Man's Sky a go and trying that one out.
It's got proper cross-player multiplayer now.
Maybe that's one worth for Games Day.
Could do. And it's cheap, usually.
Yeah. That's some good games. We go all meet up and just cause carnage.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Normal then.
Yeah, exactly. So I do recommend it. You will find it plateaus, but frankly, I got enough. I was very much in the case of I'm just going to just load. I always think a game's good when it's a case of I'm just going to load it up and just play another couple of hours. Or
30 hours for a tenner, and as you say, you've actively wanted to go back to it. There's
it's worth it.
Yeah, sure.
Definitely. I'm not regretting a purchase of it at all. Even if I stop now, I've more than had my fun out of it. It's more than paid for itself. So I can't quite there, but it seems being popular because I'm looking at the achievements tell you what sort of tiers of, and more than half the players nearly 3/4, 2/3 of the way through the sort of tiers, and that's quite impressive for a game that half the players have got 2/3 of the way through it. That's quite impressive, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, I agree. Considering when we were playing, are we there yet? And only 2% of players have got to where we were. So what the fuck?
Yeah. So I'm quite impressed with that. So yeah, Planet Crafter. Thumbs up for me.
Winner.
Right, winning. Right. Is there anything else from yourself, Skazz, before we wrap up?
I'm gonna say no, but expect me to talk about Star Fox, the remake of Star Fox, next time. So games we've been playing, Star Fox. Spoiler alert, it's fucking good.
Excellent. We'll discuss that next time.
Nice one.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for enjoying us. Enjoying us? Let me try that again.
Well, hey.
Thank you. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. Hope you've enjoyed watching us ramble and discuss all things gaming and game related and everything like that. I hope you enjoyed that. You can join us on our next podcast, which will be on the 16th of June 2026. We're also going to have our next Games Day on the 2nd of August. Games Day got was meant to be cancelled because
Podcast 22nd of July.
2nd of July.
And
16th of July, 2020.
Oh, 16th of July, sorry. And then
Games Day on the 2nd of August. It was meant to, Games Day got cancelled because this man had a birthday.
Yeah.
So he got forced to go out and have fun.
How dare people expect me to go outside?
So, yeah. So next podcast on 16th of July and next game on the 2nd of August. Come join us for that.
Cool.
So from me, the Suffolk Cran,
Skazz,
we hope you had a good time. We'll see you all in a fortnight.
take it easy, guys.